We have breaking news tonight. This just in. The Justice Department has officially asked an appeals court to stay or to block part of Trump-appointed Judge Aileen Cannon's ruling granting Trump's request for a special master to review the seized government records from Trump's club. Tonight, in their motion, the Justice Department is specifically asking the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals to halt the special master from reviewing the 100 classified documents. That's that small subset of the roughly 11,000 government records, because they are conducting an ongoing criminal investigation and intelligence assessment. That is how the DOJ's stay request begins. Quote, the district court has entered an unprecedented order enjoining the executive branch's use of its own highly classified records in a criminal investigation with direct implications for national security. The government continues, quote, Trump has identified no cognizable harm from merely allowing criminal investigators to continue to review and use this same subset of the seized records. The Justice Department does not hold back in this filing. Quote, Trump's only possible injury is the government's investigation, but that injury is not legally cognizable. Trump's only possible injury in quotes there, is the government's investigation. Mic drop. We had been expecting the Justice Department to go to the appeals court after Judge Cannon denied its request to carve out an exception to her ruling. That would be, again, to exempt the roughly 100 classified documents seized from Mar-a-Lago last month from the special master's review. So this does not exactly come as a surprise, and it should be an easy case for the DOJ. The law on who owns presidential records and executive privilege is on the DOJ side. Nonetheless, the DOJ has an uphill battle here. There are 11 active judges on the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. Trump appointed 6 of those judges. But at this point, who knows? Anything could happen. For more on this breaking news, I want to bring in by phone Neal Katyal, former U.S. Acting Solicitor General during the Obama administration. In that role, Neal approved and took charge of all of the government's appeals. Neal, thank you for joining on such short notice. Your reaction to this filing by the DOJ, it's not the full appeal, it's a request for a stay. What's the meaningful difference there? Is there one? And where in the game are we?
So thank you, Alex. So some appeals kind of write themselves. And this one does, because Judge Cannon's decision yesterday, I think, is probably the worst, the single most atrocious trial court decision I've ever read, and that's saying a lot. And so the department, I think, had a choice of how much do they want to appeal and how much do they want to go up on what's called an emergency stay, which is a temporary pause on her ruling. And what they did is they said the most important part, they're going to go and seek emergency relief from the Court of Appeals. That's the 100 or so very sensitive national security documents. The department's pretty clear. The whole entire order by Judge Cannon is, to use the legal term, nutso, but they're not appealing the whole legal order right now. They're just appealing the really bad part of these documents. And what they say is that the criminal investigation will be hampered, that this judge is literally saying you can't use these documents in the criminal prosecution. They're saying the national security review is going to be hampered because you need criminal investigators to do that. You can't. The CIA doesn't operate, for example, on United States soil, so you need FBI agents and the like with their full suite of powers. And most importantly, and this is what you were saying a moment ago, for these kinds of highly sensitive national security documents, there's no claim whatsoever that Donald Trump owns these documents. Zero. Every day of the week.
Yeah, we repeated it twice because it's very strong language in this. Trump's only possible injury is the government's investigation, but that injury is not legally cognizable. That doesn't seem up for much dispute. What's your expectation here in terms of the 11th Circuit agreeing with the Department of Justice on this?
I can't imagine that the 11th Circuit will disagree, and I think the department is on incredibly strong footing. I don't think people can even really disagree much about the whole special master ruling by her. Remember, it was Bill Barr, Trump's attorney general, who said that this special master request is a crock of S-word, and frankly, I think that's unfair to Crocs, but her decision last night was like a crock of something, and I think it'll be quickly decided, Alex. So I suspect the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals will ask Trump's lawyers to respond by Monday or possibly Tuesday and to have a quick ruling thereafter. I mean, this should not take much time. I mean, Donald Trump could resurrect Daniel Webster, the greatest, Supreme Court advocate in the United States history, and it wouldn't matter. He's got no argument, zero argument with these 100 documents. He has barely an argument on the whole special master thing as a whole. And I do expect the 11th Circuit to do the right thing here. I mean, after all, what Judge Cannon said yesterday, Alex, in justifying her order was Donald Trump is different. He's special because he's a former president. He gets privileges that literally no one else gets. And there's not been another case in the history of this country in which someone has gotten the kind of privileges that Judge Cannon gave to him, and gave to him because he was a former president. And, in America, we don't have two systems of justice, one for the president and one for everyone else. So, the 11th Circuit, the case law is very good. The Justice Department goes out of its way to cite an opinion from the former chief judge of the 11th Circuit, which says, federal stopping in trying to prevent documents from being used in criminal investigations.
Neal Katyal, former U.S. Acting Solicitor General, thank you so much for your expertise joining us at this last minute late night breaking news. Much appreciated, Neal.